What is up, guys? It is the Football Fanatic here. The NFL draft has just happened, so I am going to go ahead and tell you all my opinion on who is the winner, who is the loser in the first round of the draft. It is still going on right now as I actually record this. Um, some teams that may be losers in the first round definitely can redeem themselves, and some have in the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth rounds. Um, but yeah, let's get into this. So, the winners, in my opinion, are San Francisco, New Orleans, Washington, Tampa Bay, Houston, and Kansas City. And why they're winners? Well, obviously, I'm sure all of you also believe that San Francisco is a huge winner because of the trade that happened with the Bears. They got quite a bit of value just to move, just to move down one slot. And they basically played the Bears off. And then they got the guy who was ranked, I believe, number 2 overall in the draft. So that is a huge, that's a huge thing for them. They got a lot of draft picks, a lot of stuff out of it. And they just kind of, as some people have said, fleeced the Bears into basically trading up to get Trubinsky, because there was a huge chance that the 49ers were going to grab Trubinsky, but yeah, I liked that a lot, and I think that was a great way to start out the draft for them. And then later on, they were able to get the best linebacker in the draft, being Reuben Foster, who really has the kind of physique and nature to become someone as good as Clay Matthews or Ray Lewis. So between those two first rounders, I mean, that's a huge step up for the defense. Nothing on the offense, but for them, they need that defensive help, and I think that was really, really well managed by the team. So the next winner is the Saints. I like the Saints because they were able to grab the best cornerback in the draft at number 11. And they are in need of cornerback pretty desperately. So to get Lattimore, the best cornerback in the draft at number 11, is quite good. It's partly in reason because a lot of the teams took running backs in the first 10 picks, or a QB or a wide receiver, which is not always the case. So I thought that was good, and then they had a pick at number 32, and they were able to grab the best offensive tackle there in Ram Kisk. I don't think I said it right, but that's okay. I think that's a great pick. I think anytime you pick someone to help your line out, that's a good pick, because the offensive line and the quarterback are the most important parts of the game. They have their quarterback, and they are basically adding guys to their line to make sure Peterson or whoever the next running back will be can definitely put in the work for them. Alright, the next winner, in my opinion, is the Washington Redskins. Mostly because they snagged, kind of like the Dolphins last year, they snagged the number 1 player in the draft pretty late. The Redskins, they got the number 1 defensive tackle, I believe, in the draft, and he is ranked, like, his prospect ranking is number 4 overall, which is pretty dang good. They got him at 17. That's just a great pick. So they came out with a W in that one. Tampa Bay is the next person, or the next team. They were able to get the number 1 tight end in the draft at 19. It's O.J. Howard out of Alabama. He's very good in run blocking and also in catching the ball and running routes. So it's a huge pick. It adds another weapon for Jameis Winston. And yeah, that's big for their offense. The next is Houston. This one's a little bit more controversial. They gave away a good amount of things to get Deshaun Watson at number 12, but I really think that was a very smart move, because Deshaun Watson is the one QB in the draft who really seems to have that leadership and mentality for winning. And the Houston Texans are already set up to go into the playoffs. They have a great team. They just are missing the vital part of the QB. And if J.J. Watt can stay healthy, then that's even better. But if he can fill in the role like he did in college, I think they have a very good chance at least getting into the playoffs and making it into the semifinals. I thought that was a good pick. They gave up a lot, but I think it'll pay off. And then the next one is the Kansas City Chiefs, who actually did a pretty kind of a different sort of approach. I didn't really expect it from them. They also, I believe, traded up to grab a QB out of Texas Tech, Patrick Mahomes. He's got a rocket arm, which I think would fit very well in the highly defensive Kansas City team. They need the person. They don't have a great offense all the time, so because Mahomes has such a rocket arm, he's always looking for the scoring chance. So I think that just that threat, and Alex Smith, he's not great. I think Mahomes can really bring quite a bit of offense into the system, and that will help them win even more games than they're winning now. So those are the winners that I had. The losers, there's not as many. There's a couple obvious ones. First one that's very obvious is the Bears. I think that they gave up a little bit too much to grab Trubisky right at number 2. I mean, they were originally at number 3. I think they gave up way too much to just move up a spot. And who knows, San Francisco may have not even taken Trubisky. And then the Bears could have maybe, I don't know, they could have taken a different QB like Mahomes or like Deshaun Watson or something like that. But I think they gave up way too much, and so Trubisky better be good, or else I don't know. That will backfire on them. The next team, I'm sure y'all can guess this one, is the Browns. They're usually the losers in the draft just because I don't know what exactly goes through their mind. The management's mind. It's weird. I mean, obviously Garrett was a good pick. Myles Garrett was basically locked in the number 1 spot right off. I think that's a great pick. He's powerful. He's gonna help put pressure on the QB, and he'll be a franchise person. But then the pick they made, the 25th pick, they selected Jabril Peppers. He's a strong safety out of Michigan, very popular. He basically can play almost any position. But I don't understand exactly why they did that, because they didn't really need that kind of player. They need a QB. That's the big thing, and there's still that gap. A QB will put your team together if you get a good one. And they could have drafted, somebody of relative worth. But yeah, they drafted Jabril Peppers. It's kind of hard to figure out where he's going to exactly fit into their game plan and stuff. So I thought that was a weird pick. I didn't really expect it at all. But we'll see how it plays out. And then they actually had another pick later on in 29th, and they took a tight end, which they have Barnage. I also don't like this pick. I think his name is Barnage. Barnage, he's been pretty good the recent years, and I just don't understand why they need another tight end. They really need to get the quarterback. The quarterback is the big thing. I think they maybe could have traded up to try and get a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes or Deshaun Watson or something. Even one of the other ones that were in the draft, like Kizer. I don't know what they're doing. They need to be more like the Oilers in hockey. The Oilers were a bad team for 10 years, I swear. And they had first round picks 4 out of the 5 last years or something like that. And now they're in the playoffs, and they've beaten San Jose, and they're moving on to the Ducks, and they've beaten them 2 games in a row, and I see they fixed their franchise real quickly, and they are now a young team who's very good. That's what the Browns need to do. They have so many first-round picks year after year. I just don't understand why they pick so many bad players that don't fit into their system well. Okay, quickly now, the Chargers are the other losers. They picked Williams out of, I believe, Clemson? Yeah. He's a good receiver, I think. They do need receiver backup. I like that pick, the wide receiver pick at number 7. But they probably could have chosen John Ross, who the Bengals chose, and I think that would have fitted in a lot better. I think he's more developed and he's fast. And they need someone like that because Rivers can really bomb that thing. And then the last guys is the Giants. And the Giants kind of had a weird pick. I didn't really like it. They picked a tight end, 3rd ranked tight end in the draft. I don't know. I mean, they need a tight end, but they could have picked up, like what the Saints did, they could have picked up an offensive tackle who was the best in the draft and solidified their line, which is really important. I don't know. I think they should have picked up the offensive tackle. Tight ends are useful, but they could have picked him up in the 2nd round, I'm sure, or some other tight end in the draft. Anyways, let me know how you guys think, or what you guys think of the winners and losers, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.